Hi everybody, I hope this virtual seminar finds you all healthy and well. I know it's been a while since we met last, so just a reminder, my name's Ashley and I am the branch manager for the Madison branch. Today myself and my team are going to be presenting on team building and the overarching subtopics that we believe are most necessary for effective team building and teamwork collaboration. So I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you guys to follow along. So I'm just going to be starting out with doing a little overview of our seminar today. So presenting the three main topics of team building along with myself will be Jess, who's focusing on trust building as a team, Beth, who will be speaking about group decision making as well as virtual team building, and then also remote collaboration because it's extremely important with the COVID-19 pandemic today. I think we could all benefit from a little bit of information on that. And then finally, Jordan and Elliot will be explaining the impact effective communication plays in the workplace and specific benefits this has in a team environment. We have many different activities for you to try with your families or friends that you're with, as well as a personality assessment. So to begin, I'm going to be introducing you guys to the Elements Personality Assessment. So I'm going to ask you guys to pause the seminar in just a little bit and access the link in Canvas titled the Elements Personality Assessment. This assessment was established by We Communicate Training, and Caroline Wheat is actually the founder of We Communicate and was a 2009 graduate of the UWEC communication program. So for this assessment, you may print the document out if you'd like. Otherwise, just tally up how many total questions you answered with an A, B, C, and D. And then just a little bit of a background before you take the assessment. So everybody that you interact with throughout your professional career, education, and life just as a whole has a specific personality type that drives the way that they think, make decisions, communicate, and act. So when you're working in a team environment, understanding your own personality type, and especially the personality type of your team members, can help immensely with productivity and efficiency of the work being completed. It will help you improve team collaboration and work together with your colleagues on a level that is productive and efficient for everybody. So I will explain to you what your results mean after you take this assessment. So please pause the video now and complete the personality assessment. And then also remember it's titled the Elements Personality Assessment in Canvas. So now that everybody has completed the assessment, I'm going to go into what each of the elements mean for both yourself and then the role that you would play in a group or team setting. So the descriptions underneath each element are extremely lengthy, but I do want you guys to be able to read as well as listen to what they find as your personality and your group role. So if you want to take notes, feel free to, as they'll be beneficial in many areas of your life. So if you answered with mostly A's, your element is earth. If you answered with mostly B's, your element is wind. If you answered with mostly C's, your element is water. And finally, if you answered with mostly D's, your element is fire. So to begin, the Earths, they are the thinkers. They're logical, task-focused, fact-oriented. Some of their strengths, they are excellent planners, they're organized, focused, intellectual, and they're problem solvers and solution-oriented. So in a group, their role would be to determine if ideas will work. They thrive when put in charge of details and strategy. And then mostly B's, we have the winds. They are the energizers, so they're active, outgoing, and independent. Some of their strengths, they're fun, energetic, creative, observant of others, and they're relationship-focused instead of solution-oriented. And then they're also risk-takers and entertainers by nature. So their role in a group, they should definitely be in charge of the big picture. They're very good at coming up with ideas, and then, of course, relationship building. And then mostly C's, we have the waters. They are the feelers. So they are supportive, people-focused, and empathetic. So they're definitely like the empaths of the group, which makes sense why they have very good written and verbal communication skills, as well as genuine concern with others' feelings. They're loyal, honest, and inspirational. So their main role in the group is they ensure everybody's voice is heard and their feelings are considered. And then all D's, or mostly D's, we have the fires. So they are the doers. They are rule-oriented, reliable, and organized. Some of their strengths, they're self-confident, accountable, good leaders, goal setters, accomplishers, and driven. So their role in a group is that they take charge and lead. They will regardless, and they will thrive in this position. So everybody will benefit from their leadership and example. So of course, if you were between a couple or you had a couple of each, take it as you want, I guess. If you want to be more towards the other side, you definitely can, but it's definitely, I've taken this assessment a couple different times on a couple different websites, and I've always ended up with fire, so it's pretty accurate. And then obviously these are all different individual personalities, but in terms of a team, it's very beneficial when there's at least one of each element personality in each group. So I encourage you all to meet with your group after this seminar, whether it's over the phone or Collaborate Ultra, to discuss each of your elements and then see if you have all 4 in your branch. If there is a group that has all 4, your team should be the most effective in terms of communicating and then of course making decisions. So up next, Jess is going to be speaking with you all about trust building in a team environment.
Hi everyone, so as Ashley mentioned, today I'm going to be talking about the role that trust building has in team building. So in order to do this, I first want to start out with an eye contact experiment. First, I will demonstrate it myself and then I will have you guys do it. All right, so I need a little bit of a help. So Pat, can you come in? All right, so all you need for this is a partner and a timer, and you're set. Here we go. All right, so that's all finished up. So 1 second, I'm gonna put the instructions up for you guys. All right, so here's the instructions so you guys can do it yourself. I'll give you a little bit of time to pause it and then we will reconnect after. All right, so welcome back everyone. So what you just did was a 60-second eye contact experiment. It has been done for many years and has proven to bring people closer together. There's actually a world event that over 100 cities participate in globally. It's called the world's biggest eye contact experiment. It's been done for the past 5 years, and this year it will be done virtually, which is pretty awesome. All right, so now we're going to talk a little bit about how you felt during that and why maybe you felt that way. So I'm guessing most of you, as I did myself, probably felt a little bit awkward in the beginning, as it's not a comfortable feeling. You typically don't make that much eye contact with someone in your day-to-day life. But as the time went on, I'm guessing most of you guys started to feel a little bit more comfortable. And possibly some of you guys even felt more deeply connected. Now, here's a little bit why that this can happen. We have mirror neurons in our brain. A study was done by Kilner and Lemon, and they found that human brains are soft-wired to relate action and observation together, which results in experiencing another person's emotions as if we were experiencing them ourselves. This can help connect and improve our ties together. Along with that, those mirror neurons can also increase our capacity for feeling empathy towards the other person, as well as increasing our social connections or relationships. Mirror neurons are crucial in why we react the way we do when we participate in the eye contact experiment. Now I'll talk a little bit why eye contact is so important. Eye contact is crucial because it helps make words more memorable. There was a study done by the University of Wolverhampton in Stirling, and they had a video call with participants. They found that the participants that made eye contact at least 30% of the time had a significant increase in the retention of what was said, opposed to those who did not make eye contact 30% of the time. Eye contact also plays a huge role in honesty. I'm sure many of you guys have heard you can tell a person is lying by if they can't make eye contact with you. Well, the opposite is also true. Oftentimes, liars will overcompensate and make too much eye contact. Eye contact also helps in creating relationships and being comfortable with one another. Holding someone's gaze has proven to create attraction. Now, this doesn't need to be physical attraction, so to speak, but a strong mental attraction or even social attraction can make you feel more comfortable with those around you. Now, with regards to the 50-70 rule, experts say that you should listen, or you should make eye contact 50% of the time when you're speaking, and while listening, you should make eye contact 70% of the time. All right, so now I want to talk about ways that you can increase your trustworthiness, not only for yourself, but in others. The trust equation is trustworthiness equals credibility plus reliability plus intimacy divided by self-orientation. Now I'll break this down for you guys a little bit more. Credibility is how well you know what you are talking about, or when you are speaking, do you know what you are speaking? Do you have knowledge about it? Or are you just saying things that you think are true? Reliability relates to how dependable you are and the actions you take. So if you say you're going to do something, what are the chances that you will actually follow through and do it? Intimacy is the safety or security you feel when you entrust someone with something. And lastly, self-orientation is how focused you are. Are you focused on the person you are talking to, or are you more concerned with yourself or your phone? Now, I want to relate how eye contact plays a crucial role in this trust equation. As I had mentioned earlier, eye contact can increase your validity, honesty, and your comfort with others. Looking at the trust equation, if you can increase your credibility, reliability, and intimacy, you will also be able to increase your trustworthiness. Here, let me explain. If you increase your eye contact, your validity will go up. Your validity can also be seen as your credibility, meaning when you say something, how true is it, and do you have facts to back it up? Eye contact can also increase your honesty. Honesty relates to your reliability. That comes from the equation. If you say you're going to do something, what are the chances that you will do it and actually follow through with it? Eye contact also increases your comfort with others as well as your relationships. Comfort can be seen as your intimacy. How comfortable are you with another person, and how is your relationship increasing your trustworthiness? So, 1 second. All in all, I hope you guys can see the importance that eye contact has in trust building and what it can do to help your team as a whole. Now Beth will talk a little bit more about decision making and virtual teams. Thank you.
Hi everyone. So like Jess said, today I'm going to be talking about team decision making and virtual team building. I think these two topics are super prominent now because obviously we have to adjust to creating our seminars virtually instead of working in person. So hopefully you guys can pick up a few things based on making decisions together and doing it apart. So I'm gonna set up so you can have a little bit of better visuals for seeing our slideshow. Hold on 1 second. There we go. So decision making is the biggest drive for business performance, and that is why it's really important to do it successfully. So in order to make a good team decision with little to no conflict, follow these few steps. So initially you break down the problem and analyze the data, brainstorm solutions, all while the team leader guides the discussion. Then together you decide and implement the solution and all of the steps and actions moving forward of what you're going to do next. So on average, about 75% of the time, teams make better decisions together than acting individually. Teams are more collaborative and are pulling from a variety group of minds and with diverse skills and perspectives. So overall, groups come up with way more insight than anyone could ever do alone. Hopefully, from learning about the 5 steps to decision making, you learn to bring this with your group, and you guys can hopefully use these steps going forward with planning your seminars. So I have a video that you guys can watch now based on decision making.
Research shows that groups make better decisions than individuals, but even groups can be undermined by social dynamics. So how can we organize groups to achieve the best decisions? Diversity of background and expertise. A wide range of views avoids groupthink and allows a group to explore a problem space fully. Recognize expertise. Weight the judgments of individuals with relevant specialist knowledge over those of individuals without such knowledge. Find hidden information. To prevent essential details from being overlooked, encourage the sharing of information held by the minority of the group, not just the majority. Look beyond confidence. Confident speakers aren't always the most knowledgeable. To ensure that less confident but potentially more knowledgeable group members are heard, consider fixed speaking times and no interruption rules. Avoid social influence. Good group decision-making relies on having independent members giving their own opinions. If hierarchies exist, it's better to collect opinions anonymously. Challenge the status quo. Standard practices don't always deliver the best decisions. Be prepared to tackle problems in new ways. Establish checks and balances. Committee chairs should ensure members agree on the nature of the problems they are addressing. Everyone should be encouraged to monitor for unconscious bias. Group decision-making has its own challenges and will never be perfect, but by bearing these points in mind, we can make better group decisions.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about virtual team building. I think this is super relevant now because not only because of having to complete our seminars virtually, but also because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So many more companies have their employees working remotely than ever before. Many say that the pandemic is actually a tipping point for remote work. Many believe that companies won't fully go back to the way they used to operate now that they've seen jobs done remotely and they have the resources to do it more efficiently. Virtual team building defined is a method to bring remote teams together and create a work environment that mimics a co-located office environment. It boosts team productivity, communication, trust, and cohesion, and it makes working remotely feel a little bit less lonely. I've been doing my internship remotely for the last month, and it has had tons of benefits. Remote work is super flexible. It allows a diversity of ideas and can help employees use their time more efficiently. But if you are on a team with people you rarely ever see, or like honestly you barely even met before, you also can lack the emotional connections that company would get if they are co-located. And this being apart can also create even more miscommunication issues and stress just for everyone. A way to overcome this and collaborate effectively is to take advantage of Zoom and Collaborative Ultra. Just like how we had our meetings last week with Bridget, taking advantage of these programs helps make it a lot easier than just normal phone calls. Another way to foster member friendships and to bring your team together even when you are apart is to take part of virtual team building activities. These are more activities that are fun and help promote happiness, retention, and productivity when remote. Examples of some of these activities are hopping on Zoom for happy hours, coffee chats, anything kind of like that. And I know during my internship, I'm a part of the marketing team, and we do everyday Zoom chats each morning just to check up on each other of how everyone's doing, like adjusting to this crazy new normal. I know a lot of companies that are taking advantages of programs that let your teams do trivia, play bingo, and a lot of other games just virtually. These are more just like to connect you on a team building level rather than what you would do for a professional level, obviously. So I'm going to start sharing my video again. I hope that you can bring some of these back to your team, and hopefully it'll make your digital virtual seminar a little bit easier than how it would have been before seeing this. And so now Jordan is going to talk about how communication is key for being a part of a team.
All right, thank you very much, Beth. Now I'm going to be getting into the communication side of things. Before we get started, I want everyone to think of a situation at their past job or internship where communication was very good and a time that communication wasn't very good. And now while you're thinking of this, I'm going to give you a quick stat on communication. 57% of employees report not be given clear direction, while 69% of managers admit they aren't comfortable giving directions. Now, if you think about these stats, over half the employees at a company don't know what they're doing sometimes because they aren't given clear direction, and almost 3/4 of the managers don't want to give direction because they aren't comfortable doing it. When you look at when businesses fail, communication can be a huge part of it. Everyone plays a role in communication, whether you're a CEO or on the bottom of the totem pole. It's important to always have communication throughout every single piece of workplace so work can get done efficiently and on time. Now, looking at a couple of reasons why communication is so effective in a team. First, it avoids confusion. Now, while you're thinking of your story, think about why it confused you and how it could have got better. Confusion is so important to avoid because if you think about it in a workplace, the more confused you are, you might confuse others, and you might just be told totally different ways based on different people telling you what to do or different employees telling you what to do. It's important to have good communication through you, your employees, and your manager to avoid confusion so you're able to get a good grip on things that need to be done and be able to be there for others. So if others are confused, you're able to help them out through good communication. You're able to be efficient under many circumstances. Now, if you look at a stressful situation that happened at your past job or at an internship, there would be a time where you really weren't sure what to do and kind of didn't have good direction on what to do and really didn't want to go to your manager because they didn't know what to do. This also kind of goes with confusion. It's important to have good communication so that if anyone is confused and really in a stressful situation especially, that they are able to be positive and reinforce what needs to be said and just really be there for each other as a team. Third, creates positive work relationships. Having great communication is so important between a team, and having great work relationships is even more important because those are essentially the people that you are going to be working with for 40 hours at least a week. Having a great relationship with your team can help get teamwork done on time, but also as an individual standpoint, it really opens up new paths for you where you can just, you're comfortable asking questions and comfortable giving that communication through words or different types of communication through social media, email, phone calls, texting, and so on. So creating those positive work relationships through effective communication can really make work better for you and really relieve stress in a way. Last, it reduces and diffuses conflict. Now, kind of going back to the circumstances and stressful times, those are usually through a stressful situation. Every company has them and will endure them in their life. So think of going back to the story of you thinking, what's a time that didn't go well for me at a past job or internship? What was the conflict and how do you think you could have resolved it? What would you have done better as a leader to help your employees or yourself get rid of that conflict? See, that's where communication is so important, and it can create just a level of conflict that won't exist because you'll be able to talk your way through things and know that everyone will have your back and that you're able to talk to someone if you are confused, and it will diffuse the conflict very easily. Lastly, it creates accountability. Now, accountability is so important in so many aspects in work and in life. If you're able to communicate, you're able to keep people on time with what they have to do and know that they're going to get it done and that you're there to help them if they need it. So being there for people is great accountability for yourself and for them because they know that they can trust you in a way and that if they have any problems, they can come to you. And if you have any problems, you can go to them and you're accountable for each other. So going back to what I said before, a time in a job where it went well, or communication was well, and a time that communication wasn't well. So a couple examples I have is, so a time that communication went well. So last summer, I had a summer job at WPS, Wisconsin Public Service, and part of my job was going into people's yards and checking their gas meters to see if any repairs needed to be done. Now, the year before that, they found that many students were missing gas meters and they were getting all confused on really what they had to do because they had to write everything down. So new this year, each one of us got an iPhone with an app that had each house and each type of thing that could be wrong with a gas meter. So we were able to mark that down and take a picture of it right away. And that way, if it wasn't wrong and we were wrong, they could ignore it and didn't have to send someone else to fix it. Now, I thought this was a great way of communication through an app, through using the internet, so that people can get relay messages very quickly and that everyone will be organized. Since today's day and age, we're all technology savvy and we're able to use the app. And it actually turned out to be a very good communication source as we were able to contact someone if we needed to, or if we needed something, if there's something wrong, we could easily check it out and see what the problem was and get it fixed. Now, a time that it didn't go very well. So back in high school in the summer, I was a footwear salesman at a sporting goods store. And on weekends, they did have many deals through youth sports where a portion of the proceeds would go to the youth sports or a team. And they were very busy on Saturdays. We had most everyone working that day, but we really didn't have a good system with what went on. We were just kind of all scrambling around, and the manager really didn't know what she was doing, and she was kind of just yelling at everyone to kind of, be in their places, but she wasn't really doing anything, and she was mostly just yelling, and the communication was not very good. So in that situation, I kind of realized, what was something that I would do, and I was just create a better system, keep everyone focused and not just keep everyone, scrambling around trying to figure out what they were doing, and have everyone work as a team. And especially us being in a team with this class, communication is so important. And I hope everyone took something away from this presentation and learned why communication was so effective in the workplace and in life. Back on the life part, it's so it can create so much better relationships for you through your family, through your workplace, and just overall just meeting a stranger. Good communication is proved that you will make more money if you have better communication. Also, you'll have a greater self-esteem because you know that if you need an answer, you can get it, and that people will always have your back no matter what. So now I will be turning it over to Elliot.
How's it going, everybody? So today I'm going to be talking about skills that are valued by employers. So without further ado, let's jump right into that. And present. Okay, so as you can see, the skills that are most valued by employers are oral communication, listening, written communication, public speaking, and adaptability. As you can see, they're all involving communication, which just really shows why communication is so important and why improving your communication can be so valued by an employer. So in a study, companies rank communication skills twice as important as managerial skills. So that just goes to show that if you are an effective communicator and you speak clearly and are good at communicating with your team members, that you are more likely to get promoted into a managerial role, regardless what your background is with management prior to. So that is one reason why you should try to improve your communication. So why is this so important? In the last slide, I talked about which skills are most valued by employers. And in this slide, we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into that. And I have some statistics to back it up. So through LinkedIn research, they found that skills valued by employers can translate into a position with that company. And these are some of the statistics that they found. 58% of employers hire employees based off of communication skills. So that goes to show all information in the presentation that we've been talking about are things that you should be taking seriously and hopefully trying to implement into yourself. 56% of employers hire employees based off of teamwork skills. So again, we've been talking about that a lot throughout this presentation. And being able to effectively work in a team with other people at your workplace is becoming more and more important and more valued by employers. 56% of employers hire employees based off of their social skills. So obviously, no company really wants to hire somebody that does not have good social skills, doesn't have good people skills, isn't good at communicating. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to improve on if you are not necessarily the best social skilled person. 55% of employers hire employees based off their interpersonal communication skills. So interpersonal communication is basically being able to understand and process the message that people are sending without having them say anything. So like a shoulder shrug or just maybe their eye movements or something should be telling you something, and employers find that valuable because just like completing a task without being told to is something that they find very valuable. So these are all incredibly important skills that, if grown, can lead you to a more successful career path, both professionally and in any other setting. So just communicating with your significant other or something, good communication skills are always something that you want. So in this next slide, I have a short little video. It just kind of explains more reasons why effective communication within your team in a professional setting is so important. And it also goes on to explain how you can improve your communication and specifically 5 things that you should be improving on. So let's get that started.
Employers who invest time and energy into delivering clear lines of communication will rapidly build trust among their employees. Here are 5 key areas where you can and should enhance your communication in your team. Define goals and expectations. Present clear, achievable goals to your team and each individual separately. This is crucial to ensure that everyone is aware of the objectives and the role they play in achieving them. Clearly deliver your message. Speak plainly and politely. Get your message across clearly without causing confusion or offence. Choose your medium carefully. If face-to-face communication is not an option, take time to decide how information should be delivered, whether this is in printed copy, an email, or a simple memo. Actively seek and encourage progress reports and project updates from your team, particularly from those working remotely. Listen and show empathy. Finally, it is important to understand that communication is a two-way process. Listening to your team shows respect and allows you to learn about any outstanding issues you may need to address as an employer. Browse all of our management advice here at michaelpage.co.uk/advice. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel.
Okay. So, the 5 key areas of where he suggested to improve and try to practice and get better at were to define your goals and expectations, to clearly deliver your message, to choose your medium carefully, especially when you're not face to face. So like the current situation that we are in right now with COVID-19, obviously we have to adapt and have to do our seminars online. So seek progress reports was the 4th one, and then the 5th one was listen and show empathy. And just listen to your coworkers. Make sure that you fully understand what they're saying. If you don't understand, then ask again, and they will almost always repeat what they were saying just to give you a better understanding. So skip ahead to the next slide.
Improvise to invest time and energy.
There we go. So other benefits in the workplace. So having communication skills also enhances your professional image and makes you stand out more, makes you more respectable and look more professional. It builds rapport with customers in any job that includes communicating with customers. So, for example, like customer service or a sales position, or really anything that you're communicating with a customer about, it definitely helps build rapport, being clear. And then also allows you to speak more concisely. So allows you to say exactly what you want to say, when you want to say it, and just makes you look more professional. So I'm going to stop sharing this quickly. And now I will pass it back to Ashley so that she can wrap up our seminar. And thanks for listening, guys.
And now to conclude our seminar today, I just want to start out by saying thank you for being flexible with the virtual seminar versus in person. I know nobody had this planned, but it definitely worked more effectively than we thought, especially with the virtual teamwork. So just to go over what we talked about, our 3 main concepts of team building were trust building, decision making, and of course effective communication within the teams. Like I mentioned earlier, the importance of virtual collaboration today during this pandemic, but also just in the future, we know technology is going to be growing. So it's important to keep that in mind as well, not just general team building, but virtual collaboration as well. And then the personality assessment that I had you guys take, the earth, wind, fire elements, and then the idea of having one element of each team. If anybody wants more information on that assessment or wants to use it for something else, I definitely can send you the information. Just let me know. And then also the concept that 56% of employers hire employees based off teamwork skills. So that just shows that it's not just in the classroom. It's not just prior to graduation. We're going to be using this the rest of our lives, and teamwork and team building is very important. So I just want to thank you guys again for coming and listening to our virtual seminar and participating in our activities. We really hope that you can take the information we went over today and use it in all aspects of your life and in your futures. So stay healthy, be well, and we wish you the best in your branches and your futures. Thank you again.